This is going to be a quick tutorial on how I made this little octopus ring holder and trinket dish. To start, we're going to delete the default cube. We're going to go to add mesh and we're going to add a cylinder. Now down here in the corner, there's a little pop-up that you can expand where you can give it more vertices, which will make it smoother. Now, I'm going to hit 1 on the number pad, and I'm going to go over to this little modifier properties here, which is a wrench on the bar, and we're going to go and create a mirror modifier. Then you can hit tab to go into the object, and we're going to come over here and click move. That way we can move it and see that we now have 2 cylinders. Now we are going to hit the R key, and we're going to rotate it. Now, while it is in this view, it is going to rotate just along this axis here. So we're going to scale this up a little bit. We're going to click the middle mouse button to move around, hit 3, click this face right here, hit 1 again, and we're going to extrude and rotate by hitting E to extrude and then R to rotate. So we're going to hit extrude again, and we're going to rotate a little bit with R, extrude, rotate. We're going to zoom out just a little bit. Hit extrude. Apparently extrude again. And hit R to rotate. Extrude. R to rotate. And we're just going to keep doing this until we get to a point. I think I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger than the last one. So I'm just hitting E and R to rotate this, and now that we're here, I'm going to start scaling it down. So you're going to hit S to scale. We're going to scale it down a little bit, and then just go back to E and R. And I'm probably going to scale this down just a little. E, rotate. We're just going to keep doing this. I'm going to scale it down here too. R, scale it down a little bit more, and then we'll just scale it down a bit more till we get to there, and we have 1 set of tentacles. Now we're going to hit tab again to go back to object mode. We're going to click add a mesh, and we're going to click another cylinder. Now I'm going to hit R to rotate this, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees by hitting 90 on the number pad and clicking. We can move this down just a little bit. Now I'm going to turn off the mirror on here just by clicking this little X right here. We're going to hit 3 on the number pad to go to the side view. We're going to click this cylinder again. Still under the modifier tab. We're going to add a mirror to it. If I can find it. There we go. We're going to hit tab to go into the edit mode. We're going to move this. But as you can see, it didn't mirror how I wanted it to. So we're going to turn off the mirror on X. Turn on the mirror on Y. We're going to scale this down just a little bit. And then we're going to make the suction cups. So I'm going to hit 3 on the top number pad. We're going to select this face. I'm going to hit I to inset. We're going to inset till I think it looks good. And then we can pull this in. And then I'm going to zoom in on this part here, holding shift to move around. I'm going to hit Alt or number 2 on the top number pad. And then we're going to hold Alt and click this ring right here. And now I'm going to hit Control B to bevel so it looks a little bit better. And I think I'm going to hit 3 on the number pad again, or the top number pad. Select this. We're going to scale it down, and we're going to extrude by hitting E and bring it down just a little bit. Now, I can take this. We're going to move it back to here. We're going to go back to view 1. Rotate it to where it's in line with the tentacle here. And by clicking the inside this little arrow, we're going to move this until it is close to touching that. It looks like it's a little too big though. So I'm going to hit 3 on the number pad again. We're going to hit tab to go into edit mode. Hit A to select everything. We're going to scale it down and we're going to move them a little bit closer together. And I'm a lot more happy with that. Now we're going to hit 1 on the number pad again, and we're going to hold shift and hit D. That is going to duplicate it. Then you can take and grab by this little white circle, move it down the tentacle a little bit, and then hit R to align it. And we're going to just keep doing this down the tentacle here. Just hit shift D, move the tentacle down, shift D, move the tentacle down. and we're just going to rotate it as need be to kind of match the tentacle here. And if we need to move it a little bit more, we can do that, but we're just going to keep making all of these little tentacles here. Once again, once we get down here, these are likely going to get deleted when I flatten this model, but that is okay. We still want to have them here just so that they look good. Now, I did a few more, but once we get to the parts where we started shrinking down, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit S, scale them down a little bit, and keep moving up the tentacle here, and just, nope, I hit the wrong thing. We're going to hit S, scale them down. We're just going to keep moving up this tentacle here, scaling them down ever so slightly, and making sure we follow it all the way to the tip here. That one looks like it's, I need to scale it down. Now I can hold Control and the number pad 3. We can get this view, where we can do the same thing, where we just move them up tentacle here, and I can already see something's a little off there, so we're going to rotate with R. We're going to move it out just a little bit. We're going to do just a few more here. I'm going to scale this one down quite a bit. In fact, I'm going to scale this one down quite a bit. Make it look like they're trailing off here. We're going to hit 3, nope, not 3 again, 1 again, and we're going to do the same thing up here and just keep duplicating them up and scaling them down, kind of give them a tapering off effect. And then, because I'm done doing this one, I think I'll do one, that should be good. All right, and then we're going to go through and select all of these and apply the mirrors. Unfortunately, this is a little bit of a tedious process, but you select the little suction cup here. You hit Control A to apply the mirror, and we're going to do this all the way down the tentacle here, selecting every single one and applying the mirror. And there's a reason for doing this. It's probably not the right reason to do it. There's probably a way easier way to do this, but this is the way that I've been doing it. All right, now with all those mirrors applied, we're going to come over here to this bar. The first cylinder is the tentacle, so we're going to go down and we're going to select all the rest of the tentacles. We're going to right-click on it and hit Join. So now all of those cylinders are all one. Next, I'm going to click the tentacle, and we're going to add another modifier. This time it's going to be a Boolean modifier, and we're going to go to Union. What this does is it makes the meshes one whole part. So we're going to click this little eyedropper here, click one of the suction cups, and now this is one model. So we can turn off the original suction cups with that little eye icon right there. So now we have a tentacle. Next, we're going to add another modifier. This time it is going to be a subdivision surface, and this is going to make it look a lot better than just a bunch of cylinders. In fact, I can see I may have to go back through and move some of the cylinders because it looks like they're not connected, which is an easy fix. In fact, now that the subdivision is done, I don't think I need to, and I kind of like the little textures it had, but there's a way to fix this. I'm going to up the subdivision surfaces by 1, which will make it a little bit smoother. But over here, if we select this and hit Tab, we're going to go back into edit mode. We can select this face right here and hit I to inset, and it's going to get rid of that ugly looking texture. Now, if we hit Tab again, and my computer's struggling right now because I'm also trying to run some photogrammetry software. Now that we're out of edit mode, we can come back over here and click this X-axis mirror, and it's going to give us a second tentacle on the other side. Now that we have the two tentacles, as you can see, one of them is missing the suction cups, so what we need to do is move this Boolean up in front of the mirror modifier here, and I don't know why this is getting smaller. It is very curious. It should be much bigger than that. All right, I managed to fix it. If you hold Control and middle mouse, you can scale the bar here, so that's a good thing to know. But now that we have two tentacles that all have suction cups, we're going to come over here and hit Control A, and we're going to go down this list and apply all of these modifiers. And for whatever reason, my computer, I know why it's taking so long, but we're going to hit Control A down here and apply the rest of these other two. And now that they are applied, we're going to select it, hit Shift D to duplicate it. We're then going to hit R, Z to rotate it along the Z axis, and then we're going to hit 90. So that'll give us 4 tentacles. So just like before, we're going to hit Shift, select the first set of tentacles. We're going to join them, and then we're going to hit Shift and D again, and then we're going to rotate along the Z axis by hitting RZ and hit 4, 5 on the number pad, and we now have 8 tentacles. Now we're going to join these two together by once again selecting both of them, hitting right click, and then hit join, and now we have a full set of tentacles. So the next part is to add the head. So we're going to go into mesh, or add mesh, and then we're going to pick cylinder, and we're going to scale it up till it's just about the size of the tentacles. We're going to bring it up until it looks good. I think that looks pretty good right there. Yep. Then we're going to hit tab. Make sure number 3 is selected, the face, and we're going to bring this down, and then we're going to go into, what did I hit? 3. I hit 3 on the number pad. So we're going to rotate this. We're going to, with R, we're going to hit E to extrude. We're going to scale it down just a little bit. Hit E to extrude again. We're going to rotate, extrude, and then we're going to scale up. In fact, I'm not quite happy with that. So we're going to take this one, bring it back, and rotate it just a little bit. And then we're going to hit E to extrude. We're going to scale it up, E to extrude, scale it up just a little bit, and then we're going to scale it down. And then I'm going to hit inset just to give it, so when we do a subdivision on this, it doesn't look as bad. In fact, I'm not quite happy with how thick this is, so we're going to hit tab again. We're going to select this bottom face, and we're going to scale it down just a little bit. And to scale down this middle section, we're going to hit 2 on the top number pad, hold Alt, and then hit this middle line right here. And then we can scale this down just a little bit. And then over at Add Modifier, we're going to go back down to Subdivision Surface, and we're going to increase it up to 2. The top looks good, but I want to get rid of these lines, so I'm going to do what I did before. Go into Tab, select this bottom face. Oh, I'm still on 2. So hit 3 on the top number pad, hit this, and then hit I to inset, and now those lines are gone. So next we need to do the eyes. So we're going to go back over to Add, Mesh, and then we're going to do a UV sphere. And same thing, this little pop-up down here, we're going to take this up to 64 by 32. Then we're going to bring this up and forward. And then before we move it to either side, we want to add a mirror modifier. We're going to find the spot, and it looks like I did this backwards. So to get to the spot, we're going to hit Control 1, and we're going to come over here and turn off the first cylinder so we can see the face. We're going to hold Shift to move this over, go into edit mode by hitting Tab, and then we're going to pull the eyes over. Get ourselves lined up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit S to scale, and I'm going to hit X. Nope, I want Y. Y to scale to bring out this a little bit, to give it a little bit of a bulge. Move this back. I think that looks like a pretty decent set of eyes. Now, I could definitely go into better detail with the eyes, but I think I'm going to leave them like that. In fact, I'm going to hit 3. We're going to rotate them just up just a little bit. Possibly move them back just a little bit. There we go. So now we're going to bring back the arms. Now we need to level this so that we can print it. So what I'm going to do is go back over to Add, make sure you're in object mode, and select a cube. I'm going to hit S to scale this cube up bigger than the octopus. I'm going to hit 1 to level us out, and I'm going to hold this arrow and drag it down so we can make a flat surface for this to print on. And then you select the tentacles, come back over to Add Modifier, go to Boolean, and we're going to do Difference. We're going to click the eyedropper and then clip this cube. This is going to take probably a minute for it to delete all the meshes. All right, now that the Boolean has finished, I'm going to select this cube and turn it off. And now we have a fully 3D printable model of an octopus. So a quick tip on how to export it. You can leave everything in the file or everything in the Blender just with them turned off in visibility. When you go to export it, there is an option to do selection only. Always click that. Now we're going to do the dish. So we're going to go to add mesh, and this time we're going to use a torus, and we're going to use this add torus button to make it exactly right. So what we want to do is bring this radius up until it touches one of the, or touches the tentacles here. I think that looks good. And then we can bring up the minor radius just by clicking and holding. Oh, looks like we're going to have to change some things. That's okay. We can scale this back down here. We're just going to mess with this until we get a dish that kind of fits this purpose. Maybe just a little bit bigger, and then we're going to shrink this by clicking and holding inside this little box. And that looks pretty good. So next, we're going to, nope, we just want to select the torus. We're going to hit Shift-D to duplicate it, and then we're just going to bring it up right about there. Maybe a little taller. Then we're going to select the first torus, the bottom one again. We're going to go to Add Modifier, click Boolean, click the eyedropper, and click the second torus, the top one, and then we can turn that one off. So now we have this little bowl. But it's going to have some issues printing, especially along the edge. We're going to add another mesh, and this time we're going to add a cube, scale it. I'm going to hit S and Z to scale it down just a little bit, and we're going to scale it up till it's just bigger than the dish. And then we're going to find the top of the dish. My brain just stopped there for a second. So to make this a little bit easier, up here in this corner, there's this little ball. You can click to go into wireframe. So now we can see that this probably needs to come up just a little bit more. So right about there, we're going to select the torus again, go to Add Modifier, Boolean. Then we're going to click that to flatten out the top. We can turn off this cube to see it here real quick. So this should print a little bit better. We're going to duplicate this cube, and we're going to bring it down and do the same thing for the bottom. Go back into wireframe mode. We're going to find the bottom here, probably about right there. And we're going to do the same thing, add a Boolean, and we're going to select the bottom one. So now we can turn off both of these cubes, and we'll have a little dish that the octopus is holding. The last part is to add one last Boolean, and we're going to select the cylinders. This will cut it out so that they'll slide over the tentacles, and it'll fit a lot better. My computer's going to take a minute to figure this out. And now if we turn off the original cylinder, it'll see that it has all but one. I don't know why that one didn't cut. Let me take a look at that. Okay, so using exact and turning on self-interaction did nothing, but switching it over here to fast cut out the stuff. So now we're going to export the bowl. So same thing, we have the bowl exported. We're going to go to Export, STL, make sure selection only is included, and we're going to go down and save it as the bowl. Then in your slicer of choice, you'll be able to import both of them. Now, the one thing with Blender is that its millimeter or meters are actually millimeters. So these are quite small. But that's okay because all we have to do is scale them up. So if we go to a factor of 300, that looks pretty good. We'll just have to do the same thing with the bowl. I'm obviously not going to print the bowl and the octopus at the same time, but we'll get this octopus sent off. And with organic supports, we're looking at about 60 grams of filament, so this will be a quick print. But that's how I made this octopus ring holder with the Trinket dish. I'll have a video on this once they're both printed. But if you have any tips, suggestions, or anything like that, please let me know. That was a very loud beep. And hopefully this helps learn Blender a little bit.